Shall we be off then?
Hello there everyone. I just wanted to do a kind of video here that, if I was a brand new person to Codemain, what would I want to know and what would be the relevant topics that I should do when I run basic new kind of game content here within the game. And so this will kind of be my take after almost 700 hours in running a brand new level 1 character. Nothing is new, nothing is upgraded or anything. This is all just basic stats, everything from the very beginning of the game. So taking a fresh look at it from the very beginning here, what I would do is, if I had the access to it, first thing I would do is I would switch to White Mia, as you can switch to her from here if you have the pre-order DLC and such. I would definitely switch to her right away, and just use her, as she would completely wreck everything through the beginning stages here. So we'll go ahead and see what that looks like. Obviously, everybody's played with Oliver. Now, the second order of the day would be to get to 560 haze as fast as possible, while because the Oliver fight, he's weak to pierce, lightning, fire, and the only pierce, or the only element of lightning or fire that we would have access to would be Blazing Roar. Now we have Bloodshot active, as that is a pierce attack, so that is good damage that could be done as well. So the caster class is definitely the item of the day here that we would want to go for. Now the thing from the fighter tree that we would want would be health boost, as that will help us considerably through here. There's nothing in the ranger tree currently that could be extremely useful early game, but definitely weapon drain rating up would be helpful. Bloodshot is very useful here in the very first section of the game, since everything in here is weak to blood. And then Blazing Roar would be the item of choice for running against Oliver, paired with one of the other items that we're going to be picking up throughout Vayne. So the first order of the day is to get as much... no, I'm not checking my equipment, I'm explaining. The first order of the day would be to get to 560 haze. So as we come over here, we would definitely want to keep the pipe active, but also you will want to go for as many backstabs as possible through here, as this fella here presents himself a great backstab opportunity, and this would also then show the player that backstabs are definitely very powerful in this section of the game. And there you can see Mia just wrecking face, and our backstabs for these little fellas here are pretty overpowered. Okay, and we got these dumb tutorial notes. So go for more backstabs. Now you'll want to get as many backstabs as possible to rank up your iCore stock as you can. Get out of here. So that way, when we get to the Oliver fight, we will have as many things as possible. So we can, as you see there, we do also kind of pretty good damage from Bloodshot, and it's a very quick cooldown of 2 seconds, and we also have really good damage. Okay, and we almost kill, and Mia kills. Yeah, get out of here. So this is kind of how I would go for a brand new game to initiate the different fights and so on and so forth that we run into. Okay, so we currently have access to 840 haze, which means that we can get our blood, what is that? Whoops. Our come on. Okay. We can get access to our Blazing Roar. Okay, words are hard a little bit. Okay, and we'll pick up this chest here.
What do you think we'll find?
And the Lost Bayonet, this is exactly what we would be wanting to go for versus the Oliver fight. And as you see here, it still keeps us normal, but it is the item of choice for Oliver since it is a piercing damage, and you'll see exactly why once we get to the fight. And as you'll notice, we're kind of leveling up our items here, as we've already mastered Bloodshot, we've mastered Blood-Sucking Blades. So let's switch to the fighter, and let's go for Bloodshot here. Oh, and we need a willpower of C, so we can't do that. So we will try and get health stimulant or health boost going, and we're still going to be running our backstabs, as that is the item of choice here. Okay. And we probably should have been running fighter first as the first blood code, but it doesn't really matter. But you can see that having Mia along for the ride here is definitely the option of the optimal choice. Even though she's not available to everyone, obviously she is the optimal choice when compared with Oliver. But if you have Oliver, I mean, he's not horrible, but it is what it is. So we get a Hound's Veil, oops, and here what you want to look at is your dark damage, and as you see here, this is not going to be ideal for running dark Bloodshot, but the drain attack is a little bit less as well. But we will be also now be able to be quick mobility, which will help us out considerably. Here we want to pick up the Queenslayer Greatsword. Now that is a great awesome weapon, but it is not what we want to go for in this area, as we want to continue going for backstabs. And as you can see there, we do about 100 less damage on these fellas as compared to the Queenslayer Claw. Okay, so as we head into this area here, we leave Oliver behind, and it's important to level up health boost as soon as possible here. So we continue to go for backstabs because we level up our gifts based on kill. So it's important that we continue to kill as quickly and fast as possible. Okay, and so there's that, and if we go for another backstab, oh, no backstab, okay. So let's head on here and go for more backstabs where possible. And as you can see, the backstabs for the very beginning of the game, they definitely present the most optimal way to kind of rip through these enemies. And as you see, we have about 2,000 haze, which is really good. Remember, we needed 560, so we are on our way to mastering a couple of items here, a couple of gifts. Whoops. Okay, we'll go for a backstab on this fella then. And again, Mia is just really killing everyone, and you can see their health stimulant is, or health boost is almost up to full, probably after 1 or 2 more enemies, and we should be okay. There we go. And we'll pick these up. Okay, good. And we mastered all these gifts, so we can switch back to the caster class, and we can put health boost on, and we'll keep this. And now our dark gift, as you can see, what we want to go for is definitely the Queenslayer Claw, as that has a very high dark value, at least for what we have running here. I'll pick up the dagger, and we don't really need to go down there. That guy's just kind of extra opinions there. So we'll go ahead and hit this fella. There we go. And get him out of our way. And we'll go for a backstab on him. We'll get our Ichor back. We'll head up top, pick up the regeneration factor, and then we will be heading on into the missile, the first missile here, where we can then pick up Blazing Roar and master some other gifts. Now there you see we picked up another Lost Bayonet. Now that is very useful, as we want to be able to have access to a Lost Bayonet at this point in time, so it's definitely worth picking up and having one at the ready. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick up Blazing Roar. And we can pick up Dark Impulse. Now, this is also useful as it will help us to figure out or to be able to when we get focused, we get that 30% increase to dark damage. So that'll be definitely a useful passive to have during the Oliver fight, especially since we have a lot of dodging and such that we can pick up. And we say goodbye to Louis. Now, coming up here in this area, this is your first kind of real challenge, as you will be going toe-to-toe here with these giant lost fellas. But since we picked up Blazing Roar and we have Bloodshot available, it definitely lends itself to some useful cases here. Okay, and we'll go for a Blazing Roar on this fella. And as you see, that cast time is fairly long. Now the big fella is going to be pumped up here and running around. Okay, so we will go for a plunge on him to stagger him. And we'll go for a backstab, and this should put him down. Yep, there we go. And as you can see, I mean, we definitely have, you know, a really good method to be able to put these fellas down quickly and effectively. And having Eva along with you, you just kind of wreck face through the game here. On the very first level, you can completely annihilate everything. And since everybody's weak to blood in this particular area of the game, it definitely does you well to have Bloodshot available and do more than half of an enemy's health bar in one gift for 2 Ichor. And it kind of makes you think that, well, Bloodshot's kind of overpowered and such, but as you find later in the game, it absolutely is completely worthless. But for a beginning set of gifts here, Bloodshot coupled with Blazing Roar is just pretty overpowered. Okay, so this fella here. Now, we want to put him down quickly. And so we'll go for a backstab, if we can get it. Nope, no backstab. Okay. So the reason being is because when we are going to be running the Bayonet, the charge attack on this does multi-shot, or sorry, not, am I messing this up? Yeah, not the Lost Bayonet, just the regular Bayonet. But the Lost Bayonet is pretty good at distance for just the regular shot, not necessarily the charge shot. So you want to be, you will want to be running just regular throughout your entire encounter with Oliver. Now, here in this area, we are going to be wanting to hopefully load up on as many backstabs as possible, simply because we are directly before the Oliver fight. And if you reach up under there, under his little loincloth and pull out his insides, it definitely does you well. Now we'll head on over here and get backstabs for more Ichor, and for the squids, we'll just let Mia take care of these. Okay, there we go. Alright, and now we will be heading into the Oliver fight, and this will be kind of what we will be going for. Now, as you can see here, we've already mastered 2 more gifts along the way, so in the beginning of the game here, you can kind of master things very quickly and effectively, so it's definitely worth picking those up. Now, as we have these 2 gifts, they do have fairly long cast times, but that's okay, and it doesn't really matter, as we're going to be kind of at a distance, either shooting with regular bayonet shots, or we are going to be running Bloodshot and Blazing Roar. Now, since he's weak to fire, we definitely do good damage there. And every time we take our shots, we definitely want to back up and do some regular bayonet shots. Okay. And we'll go for a couple more shots here. Now he's in that damage reduction phase. Okay, and because he's weak to fire, we have that weakness as well in what is this? Blazing Roar. And because he's weak to Pierce as well, we have really good damage in Bloodshot. And there we go. And then he's put down. So that's kind of my way of how I would approach the very first level of the game. And it's not very amazing or intuitive or anything, but it definitely is a pretty definitive way to put down the entire first level. As you saw, we didn't even take one hit, I don't think, if I remember as memory serves, which can be harder these days, but that's kind of my opinion of how I would definitely go about starting up a brand new save file. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.